We have so many freedoms in this country that we know aren't free, that they require service, they require sacrifice.
These guys go out and put their lives on the line for us every single day.
For me, it's finding a purpose. So I would say to their veterans, you gotta have motivation, you have to have a purpose.
Today's Military Makeover is brought to you by NBKC Bank and the Navy Mutual Aid Association.
Going into harm's way, risking their lives to protect all of us. That's the job description of every one of our brothers and sisters in the military. It was Staff Sergeant Zeke Crozier's job as a crew chief on a Chinook helicopter that crashed in Afghanistan in 2011. I was one of these babies from a pasture. That looked good out there in my pasture. Now we're talking tank.
Tanks.
This is a big old tank, one of the first ones made. I found one up in Montana, and I got to actually drive it. We crept up on and I do mean crept because it goes about 2 miles an hour. Crept up onto a machine gun nest about 10 feet away from the machine gun nest and blew that machine gun nest to smithereens. That's a big sardine can. Now, you were flying helicopters. You know, Extortion 17, are you okay? Do you feel good about talking about it to me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you mind telling me what happened, what's going on?
Well, I was a Chinook guy. Extortion 17 was the flight crew were my guys. My crash was Extortion 17. It was considered a hard landing initially. My chopper went down on June 25th, 2011. And come August, I was already, a little bit better, and I was moved into Minneapolis, Minnesota, the VA out there. A second Extortion 17 crash was carrying members of a SEAL Team 6 on board, and all 31 were killed.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
that's bad.
It's tough to be in the same sentence as that because I'm still here, So having 2 crashes, Extortion 17, and it's tough to deal with every day.
Zeke's life-altering crash, though taking place in a war zone, had an inconclusive ruling as being a result of combat.
So I remember we were in Jalalabad. It just didn't feel right. I remember we took a picture on the ramp before we took off. We never took pictures. Awkward, weird. We were going in, dropping troops into this small area. It was really, really windy. I was on the ramp, clearing of the trees. So here's the ramp, I'm here, here's the trees. Once we get past the trees, we're clear. And I said, we're clear to come down. So I called out RPG. The RPG didn't hit. I called out small arms. We started to come down. One of the pilots, he went to full thrust, and the number 2 engine was dead.
The Chinook, carrying soldiers and crew numbering nearly 40, plummeted over 100 feet. Zeke was slammed multiple times into the metal frame, a thin strap that kept him from being thrown from the aircraft, and his helmet saved him. Remarkably, no lives were lost. Zeke, however, was seriously injured.
Telling the story after we crashed is merely, what I've been told. I don't even know the details on that. It's hard to remember any of that stuff.
After the helicopter went down, they all got medevaced to Bagram. They discovered that he was suffering from a brain injury.
Zeke's traumatic brain injury required intensive care for weeks. He was taken from Afghanistan to Germany and then to Maryland.
He was in a coma for a couple of weeks. They tried to take him out of it, but he had developed pneumonia. They put him back into an induced coma until he was well enough to be able to handle the coughing and be able to breathe on his own.
Zeke faced months of recovery and years of rehabilitation. After the crash, an investigation into its cause kept him from being awarded his Purple Heart, and a VA backlog was blocking his benefits.
I'm, significantly wounded, medically retired out, and but not receiving benefits. So it was difficult. That was a tough time.
There is no more worthy cause than to give back to veterans who have sacrificed so much for us. So let's get with the program. Semper Fi.
For military families, this day is about more than moving. It's about serving your country. That's why NBKC Bank is proud to serve you as a top VA lender. Call for a quote or apply online at nbkc.com.
Zeke Crozier first met Congressman Kevin Yoder when he deployed to Afghanistan. Returning home badly injured and in need of help, Zeke walked into the congressman's Overland Park, Kansas office.
He came in, saw the picture of us, was hanging on our wall. It was a picture of me and Zeke. And he said, I need help. And by the way, that's me on your wall that I have a picture with.
What are the chances?
What are the chances?
Yeah.
And we leapt to the cause, helped him get the assistance he needed, that he deserved, based upon the injuries he'd sustained. And the sacrifice he'd made for our country. Since that time, Zeke's been giving back to the community. He's amazed me in his ability to touch others with his personal story, with his ability to share his sacrifice in a way that makes other people want to sacrifice as well. And so we'll do anything for guys like Zeke. He's an American hero, and he's just a great guy. And so I'm excited to see that you're getting this home makeover, and it's
awesome.
well-deserved.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Zeke now has benefits and the Purple Heart he earned at such a high price. While recovering and unable to work, Zeke felt driven to make art, starting a new business.
So I had very poor motor skills, and I don't know why I thought of it, but I did. I'd take a hammer and I would smash the bottle cap because it forced me to hit the same spot over and over again. It became like this therapeutic thing for me that turned from a hobby to a business. This is kind of like my place to go. Really, it was for whenever I get stressed out and, I'm ticked off or having a problem with anxiety, whatever it may be. This is like my hideaway. The bottle caps just seemed to give me something to look forward to see if I could make something else that kind of came together, and really it has. My mind's working, my hands are working, and my feelings can be brought out through what I'm doing. I visited Arlington Cemetery where my brothers were buried. I finally made a trip out there to see them. It was kind of a dark time for me. And as I left, I was inspired. I took that opportunity to say, okay, well, I'm gonna go downstairs and just see what I can work with. My ultimate goal was to represent, freedom doesn't come without a price. It's not for sale. I'm extremely attached to this piece right here. I wouldn't invite a customer down here to say, hey, come check out, how your piece is working or look at the things I've done in the past. It's not inviting, it's not welcoming. I wish I had a place to display all the things I've done. The only thing I do for cutting is cutting like the frame edges. I'm not sure how much that's blocking, but it's doing something. When it rains, it all sits against the foundation, then it soaks in, and then the water's gonna find a way in. The garage obviously isn't heated. All that cold air comes into here, and I'm down here in like a hoodie and some ear muffs. And I've got all my challenge coins in here. I've got quite a few, and they're all just in a box collecting dust. My Purple Heart, which is collecting dust. I wish I had a place to put this, somewhere displayed, not where it's gonna collect dust, because I'm proud of these things and they mean a lot to me. And the helmet, obviously not something I want to look at every day of my life, but again, this just represents that it was real, as much as it seems like a dream. For me, pictures and things like this are good to look at sometimes.
kids total. 2 of them are between the 2 of us. That would be Chase and Gunner. Chase is 9 and Gunner is 6. They both are into a lot of sports. I am a true equestrian, and that is my hobby and passion.
Okay, this makeover is about to take off. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm George Nicara. I spent, out of my first 7 or 8 years in the Coast Guard, I had 5 years at sea. I found out about Navy Mutual from a friend of mine in the Coast Guard, Admiral Jim Loy. There's an absolute correlation between national security and financial security. And Navy Mutual has convinced me and many of my colleagues that they are one of the best alternatives available. Navy Mutual provided the best rates, the best customer service. I want to be able to give my grandchildren the most that's possible. And Navy Mutual is providing that for us.
NBKC Bank, working with Military Makeover to transform the home of a young hero, helping homeless veterans through the Veterans Community Project, finding ways to give back to those who have sacrificed so much for all of us. NBKC Bank, proudly serving our country's veterans as a top VA lender.
We have NBKC Bank to thank for introducing us to Zeke.
When we came across this opportunity with Military Makeover, we felt very, very fortunate and didn't hesitate to jump on board.
We're here.
This is the wood shop.
It's incredible.
A few frames to show you. That's the walnut one for the bank, hopefully.
Perfect. NBKC Bank, and that's what the way on your shirt, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be it right there. I'm so excited about this. I'm not good at expressing that, but I promise you, I'm totally stoked about this.
And I made you a little U.S. Army and a cap. Gotta have a Ruse Woodshop cap.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for your
So
service.
cool.
Brian's frames will take Zeke's artwork to a new level, and Zeke sees this gift as a two-way street. Brian will be on the receiving end before the makeover is over.
Hey man, what's happening? Good to see you.
Yeah,
good to
how's
see
it
you. Good
going?
to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, so here's the 2 windows we're looking at
All right, let's
here.
take a look at
All right.
those.
Zeke has also inspired Window Mart's owner, Robert Tankersley, a Navy veteran, and his team is going to install some windows and doors that Croziers really need.
So what we would do is we'd come in here just like we talked about with the windows. We'd take this whole thing out. We'd replace it with a new energy efficient door that's going to seal up better. We're going to take care of all these problems. We'll go ahead and cap it, and you won't have to worry about rotten wood or air getting in.
So here's the shop. Here's the latest one I'm working on for
great.
myself.
I love
Fan.
that.
I'll pour the resin all the way up, so it'll be smooth and it'll.
That's so sharp.
Thanks. And I think you've seen this one before.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You brought some art, didn't you? You want to get some things done?
I did. So I have this. I had this book made up. You know, as you know, Wyndham Art is made in the USA certified. So all of the components that go into our products are made in America.
Okay.
So that's a big deal to me.
I like it.
This is just ideas for you to get. I'd rather you make something unique, you know, from what you see, and just take whatever you want. Then I also have a few more things I made. You know, I'm a Navy guy.
Yeah, you are.
So I'd have to get a Navy one done for me. I'd like
Okay.
to get that done. And again, there's just some other ideas for you to use when you get to work on it.
I'm excited. I can't
And
wait
I
to do
appreciate it. I'm
something.
excited.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, we've given away and decorated our makeover homes with art. Now, I guess some of it is this kind of modernistic. I can't tell whether it's hanging right side up or upside down or sideways or what. I have to say our Zeke, he's got it going on. Zeke's art is Gunny approved.
Carrie Lehman and Rebath are donating a new, custom master bathroom. Back for a 4th military makeover, Rebath.
It gets a little cramped in there with the standing shower with the tub, and then it being slippery.
So I noticed right now you don't have any grab bars or anything.
Ideally, we would like to have some kind of bench.
Yeah, we can easily, work with a bench, and we have some options to put in grab bars that don't look like grab bars.
Right. Here we have a lack of storage and vanity space.
Rebath will do a great installation. And where they really shine, design and materials.
These are natural stone samples. These come in a big sheet. It goes up a lot easier. You don't have to worry about grout lines, tile, and cleaning and things like that.
Just looking at the table, like these two pop out to me.
Yeah, that one's definitely my favorite.
There's lots of different styles of cabinets that we can choose from.
I really like that one. That one looks...
Yeah, that stands out.
Next up for Zeke and Lacey is Rainbird Irrigation Systems.
Hey Lacey, how you doing?
Good,
to
how are
see
you?
Good. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the yard. I know you did a lot of work on it.
We overseeded and aerated it last fall so that hopefully this spring we can get some good grass growing. We have some dead spots. I also used to have a spiral tree here, but I think I kind of killed him.
Is there hope for that bush?
And in the backyard, more irrigation and maybe even a garden.
We talked about gardening a little bit, and you said that you like to garden.
I would like to get into gardening.
So what we were going to do is make a little dedicated garden area back here in the back.
That'd be
with some
wonderful.
drip irrigation too, where you can get some healthy organic food on the table.
Great.
I think the one thing Zeke and Lacey are going to find is they have a great looking yard, and they're actually going to save water in the process with an automatic system.
Dan Hayden of United Heating and Cooling, a Goodman HVAC expert, has come by to help solve some major heating and cooling issues.
I was nosing around here a little bit, and I noticed one thing. That's actually disconnected.
Not even connected over there.
It's kind of got a gap on it like that.
Right.
So the improvement on that is going to be off the charts.
I've got a space heater over there for when I'm working because it does get fairly cold in here.
It just seems a little musty down here, and there's something that came to my attention, and I wanted to point it out to you.
Yeah.
That is an old sump pump pit.
Right.
And I think that musty smell we're getting, I think that's because this pit's not sealed down. We have to put a permanent seal on this.
There's some cold air coming in through the bottom of this wall right here.
The area you were talking about down low, you can see as I drop this down, that temperature's dropping right along with it. It's dropping, dramatically on a really mild day. One thing I really see is the attic is under insulated. I think if we can improve that, boy, the whole house will be so much more comfortable. Adding a few registers, some weather stripping, hopefully doing some insulation work, and just improving some of the airflow issues with the ductwork, I think it's going to make a huge difference for them.
I miss you, babe.
I wish you were here. I miss home.
For the guy who finds a way, always unstoppable.
So to kick off this makeover, we've got to get the Croziers out of their home for 10 days. Ford is helping out with a new 2017 Explorer.
Hey, Zeke. Hey, Lacey.
Hey.
What I've got for you.
Oh my gosh.
This is for you guys to use during the makeover.
Seriously?
Really? Yep, absolutely.
It's amazing. Nice.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty sweet. I'm sold. Isn't this awesome? Look, this is a sunroof up here. You guys have your own sunroof. Boom. There you go.
Zeke and Lacey Crozier. What a great family. You know, this makeover is going to make them so happy.
It sure is. And Zeke's a really great example of the quality and character of our veterans, just like you, Gunny.
I recommend that you do not miss the next episode. This is Gunny saying Semper Fi.
Today's Military Makeover has been brought to you by NBKC Bank, proudly serving our country's veterans as a top VA lender. And by Ford, supporting those who serve. Learn more at FordSalutesThoseWhoServe.com.